I'm Isabella, aged 27, and I'm employed in a creative position at a software firm in Florida. While my life might seem uncomplicated from an outsider's perspective, the situation at home is anything but smooth. A year back, my father's business unexpectedly declared bankruptcy, which forced me to move back to my hometown to live with my parents and my sister, Mary. Our family heavily relies on my earnings to sustain ourselves. One evening, while we were conversing in the living room, my mother expressed that Isabella wants pork steaks for dinner the following night. I quietly sighed and mentioned that we're running out of funds for groceries and can't even afford pork. I asked if they could assist a bit more with the grocery budget. My frustration grew when Mary remarked sharply, "Big sis, you aren't contributing enough money for food." Dumbfounded, I replied. "What do you mean? I'm already providing $10,000, which should be sufficient." Mary scoffed, reminding me that the rates have increased, and $10,000 is no longer enough for a household of four. In my frustration, I retorted, "If $110,000 is insufficient, why don't you get a job to help with the expenses?" My mom came to Mary's defense, adding how tough it is to find employment. I couldn't shake off the feeling of resentment as Mary squandered her so-called job search as an excuse while idly passing time. Furthermore, unbeknownst to me, the money I give is clandestinely diverted to Mary by my mom as her pocket money. I finally reached my breaking point, suggesting, if it's so hard to manage, why not sell this place and relocate to Grandma's hometown? Perhaps we could find work there, making life less difficult. However, my mom was dismissive of the notion, immediately rejecting it. She was adamant against returning to that town. My grandmother runs a prosperous Italian diner in Miami, where we could potentially work and enjoy free pizza and pasta, undoubtedly making life easier, but she is extremely strict, especially concerning the pizza-making process, which my mom detests enduring. My dad often questions why we so readily seek Grandma's assistance when we should be self-supporting, viewing it as being pampered. This made me want to scream internally. How can they claim I'm pampered when I'm the one bearing the financial burden and my sister is disinclined to work? Mary should consider a part-time position as well since she's 25, and many do so while searching for full-time roles. I proposed this, but my mom quickly retorted, "No. Mary contributes to the household chores, leaving no time for a part-time job." That was inconceivable to me, as I'd never seen Mary engage in any cleaning. My dad piped in, saying Mary takes dishes to the sink post-meals and does her laundry herself. Occasionally, she even offers him shoulder massages. Anger simmering within, I thought the chores my dad highlighted are tasks even a young child could handle. Meanwhile, I awaken early to prepare breakfast for the family and handle my dad's lunch, not to mention managing the household accounts and dealing with taxes. Still, my parents are invariably partial to Mary, favoring her since childhood. Though people say I'm quite attractive, Mary has always been deemed more elegant and amiable, which is why our parents have continually shown her special treatment. You might think it would be simple to just abandon this environment, but it's intricate, and I can't easily move out, leading to daily stress. Eventually, time moved along, and I hadn't realized Mary had left the residence. Initially, I thought she'd just gone out like she usually did, but as the days passed, she remained conspicuously absent. Growing suspicious, I overheard my parents' conversation one day while heading to my room, and what I heard was jaw-dropping. My mom exclaimed how she couldn't wait for the souvenirs from Louisiana, adding that Mary was incredibly lucky to be enjoying the gorgeous beaches and dining at fancy eateries there. My dad chimed in, suggesting we should all consider making the trip next time. Unable to hold back any longer, I questioned them. "Wait, are you saying Mary is in Louisiana at this moment?" My parents, startled, responded affirmatively. The revelation left me speechless. I couldn't believe it, but somehow she had no money left. I had been saving up diligently, avoiding shopping trips and entertainment. My mom casually mentioned that Mary had won a vacation through a sweepstakes. "Mary's always been fortunate like that," she explained. Apparently, Mary had won a trip to Louisiana without my knowledge. Although I was shocked, I decided to let it go for now. The next day, while at work, I received an unexpected call from my credit card company. I rarely use my credit card, so the news of substantial charges over the past 4 days surprised me. When I inquired, the customer service agent informed me that $20,000 had been spent in that short span. Instantly, I suspected Mary, who was luxuriating in Louisiana, was the one responsible. She may have won flights and a hotel stay, but she needed funds for shopping and meals. Determined to confront her, I called. "Explain what's happening," I demanded. Mary seemed indifferent, even joking. "Oh, hey sis. Waiting for your souvenirs, huh? Stop fooling around," I insisted. "You've been using my credit card without permission, haven't you?" Her response was chillingly casual. "It was an accident, did you really notice?" she said. Anger bubbled up inside me. "Using someone else's card is illegal," I retorted. "But we're family, Isabella. Don't be so uptight," she replied dismissively. Astonished, I asked, "How could you spend $20,000 in 4 days?" She explained she covered various costs: dining, branded goods, taxis. "Spending like this is unacceptable," I reprimanded. Laughing, Mary said, "Relax, the card was about to expire. I'll leave the bill to you." She hung up as I sat stunned. Mary attempted to reach out several times after, but I ignored her. Eventually, she left a voicemail admitting, "I guess I really blew it." That evening, upon returning home, my parents welcomed me warmly. "Welcome back," they chimed. My mom added, "Mary's struggling. Why'd you cut her card off?" I remained firm. She used it unlawfully, so I canceled it right away. Apparently, Mary tried using it after it was blocked and got irritated when it failed. When my silence persisted, she sought our parents' help. "How can you stand by when your sister's in trouble?" my mom queried. They believed familial ties justified Mary's spending spree. "She planned to buy us gifts, what's the harm?" my dad chimed in incredulously. Unable to fathom their mindset, I retorted, "Are you serious? How can you expect me to remain considerate under these circumstances?" To drive the point home, I played Mary's voicemail for them. "Make the card available, you miser. Our parents' cards are maxed out, and you offer no pocket money." Their faces fell silent as harsh reality dawned. Quickly, they retreated to inspect their own credit cards, soon erupting in panic. The situation was as much a shock to them as it was to me. My father was red with rage, incredulous at Mary for using his card without permission after all they had done for her. Furious, he exclaimed that she even took the bank book and their other cards, feeling utterly betrayed. With a cold tone, I remarked, "Wasn't Mary's act supposed to be thoughtful? Buying you souvenirs because she was thinking of us? You did say she was trying to have fun for our sake." My mother's voice was uncertain as she muttered, "Our money is still safe though, right?" Observing their swift change in demeanor upon realizing their finances were intact left me disappointed. "Why not just raise the card limit and settle the balance, so she can use it again? Let Mary, who wants to buy you souvenirs, have it," I suggested sarcastically. "That's impossible," Mom replied. "We have no savings left." "How is Mary now, without money for food or anything?" Amidst the turmoil, my father turned to me suddenly. "Isabella, please, let's start anew. We promised to support this family together. Help Mary," he pleaded. "Now I'm included, am I?" I asked sarcastically. Despite my father's words, which moved me, my mother knelt in front of me. Shocked briefly, I then couldn't help but laugh bitterly. "A little late for apologies now," I said, but she continued earnestly. "I swear to change, to support everyone from now on, never wrong you or her again." Despite everything, the absurdity made me laugh. Quietly afterward, I retrieved my credit card, unsure of my next move. I had secretly found a credit card with a valid expiration date and in used, proposing, "Why not give this card to Mary for a family trip?" My parents loved the idea and contacted my sister, planning the trip excitedly. I even booked their flights to Louisiana, watching them eagerly prepare with a smile. Once set, I made a critical phone call. 5 days later, my parents and sister returned from Louisiana, greeted by Mary. "Thanks for letting us enjoy Louisiana, big sis." Surprising you're here to pick us up. Expecting souvenirs? Sorry, didn't get any. Observing their joy, already forgetting gratitude, told me it was time for my plan. Holding back excitement, I asked, was that the last big moment of your life? What do you mean by last? Mary puzzled. Casually, I declared, I've decided to sell the house. Already sent our things to a new location, and someone's picking us up. Shocked, my parents and sister noticed the for sale sign outside. Demands of, what is this? Did you really sell the house? What's going on? Abounded. I calmly explained, actually a real estate agent I knew from university had wanted this land and house for a while. I refused before, thinking keeping it made sense, but recently I changed my mind. Selling and living alone again meant financial and mental freedom for me. My parents protested. You can't sell the house on your own. It belongs to Dad, not you. Keeping composed, I replied, oh, upset are we? What if I told you the house and land are actually in my name? What? They exclaimed in disbelief. Dad, remember when you couldn't pay the taxes and asked me for help? I agreed if ownership changed to my name. You signed the papers, remember? Dad's face fell, recalling it all. That's right. I continued. I didn't leave the house because it was already mine. I was waiting for the right time to get you all out, so I could sell it. Finding a chance was hard with you always home, but you going to Louisiana provided the opportunity one needed to proceed. I calmly revealed that the house would be sold, much to their shock, as I had mentioned earlier. Everyone gasped, surprised by the news. Don't worry, your luggage is already on the way to the new location, I reassured them. The pickup will be here soon. Pickup? What do you mean? My mom asked, still baffled. I smiled warmly. Grandma is anticipating everyone. She's eager to see you all. My dad, his voice unsteady, queried, wait, Grandma as in Mom? Yes, I confirmed. I've discussed everything with her. She's glad to have you come. She wants to get through to you. So, she asked me to send her your things. Prepare for daily duties at Grandma's restaurant. My parents and Mary looked as if they had been struck dumb. We can't go to Grandma's. We don't want to. Mary exclaimed desperately. Well, it's your choice, I pointed out. But without a house or employment, how will you manage? And remember the credit card debt. How do you intend to settle it? My mom, her nerves on edge, questioned me. What are you talking about? In a concerned tone, I replied, the card is in your name. You assumed wrong if you thought it was under mine. It's actually in someone else's. No way, my mother said, visibly shaken, as she checked the card, her face turning pale. Look, this card is in Mary's name. Yes, I explained. The credit card I passed to you was one I discovered in Mary's room. It was her first work-related card, though she abandoned that job soon after. It appears she never utilized it. I've spent too much. What should I do now? Mom said, panicking. Under the circumstances, since it carries Mary's name, she's obligated to clear it. You'll need to work diligently at Grandma's to warrant your stay without causing disturbances. Despite Mary's last resistance, our parents remained silent, unsure of any alternatives, and they awaited Grandma's arrival to face reality. Once she arrived, they all headed to her dwelling and business in Miami. Under her stringent supervision, along with guidance from her skilled staff, they learned about dedication, even shedding tears when needed. The $230,000 charged on my card was eventually returned to me, with Mary making payments while under Grandma's overseer's eye. Despite my plan to resolve everything by disposing of the house, Grandma adeptly recovered the expenditures I had previously paid for them and even took part of my parents' earnings to reimburse me. Later, I transitioned to an apartment nearer to my work, finally regaining my solitude and beginning to relish peaceful routines. One evening, as I admired the cityscape from my balcony during sunset, a heavy weight lifted from my shoulders, yet a slight emptiness lingered. At that moment, my phone chimed with Grandma's name on the caller ID. A bit hesitant, I answered. Hello, Grandma? She inquired about my well-being. Yes, I'm okay, I spoke. That's a relief, she expressed warmly. I wanted to talk about Mary and your parents. They are beginning to change, especially Mary, who's now contributing significantly. Your folks are also starting to self-reflect on their actions. Isabella, Grandma sighed, I'm aware it's been tough for you. I comprehend your emotions. Family can sometimes be a heavy load, but it's a connection to support too. Hopefully, you'll find it in your heart to pardon them someday. While heeding Grandma's wisdom, I noted the worry and doubt in her voice coupled with an unwavering determination. There's no hurry, she soothed. Take your time. I nodded, knowing she couldn't see me. Thank you, Grandma. I will ponder over it. After hanging up, as my gaze lingered over the city silhouette descending into twilight, inner turmoil stirred with hope, regret, and anger intermingling. A hint of optimism remained for days to come. Returning to my room, I glimpsed an old family picture where Mary and I, as kids, stood shoulder to shoulder with our parents, all blissfully smiling. The pure joy resonated strongly, evoking nostalgic memories. For a moment, I longed for a return to those days, but reality swiftly descended. Time flowed on as my life harmonized, regaining a steady pace at work with opportunities presenting themselves. Isabella had been entrusted with leading a new project, and this brought her more fulfillment in her personal life. One evening, after finishing her day's tasks, her phone rang. An unknown number appeared on the screen, and she hesitated but chose to pick up. Hello, this is Isabella. A different voice came through. It's me, Mary, she said, her usual confidence replaced by uncertainty. Surprised, Isabella asked, Mary, what's happening? Did something occur? Mary responded gently, sorry for calling out of nowhere. Actually, I want to meet you in person to talk. Her voice, calm yet sincere, showed growth unexpected by Isabella. Why do you wish to meet? Isabella inquired softly, waiting for Mary's reply. Big sis, I sincerely want to apologize. A phone call wouldn't convey my feelings. That's why I wish to see you face to face, to genuinely say I'm sorry, Mary expressed. Listening without interruption, Isabella could hear the sincerity in her voice. Mary continued, if meeting is hard for you, I understand and respect that. After a silence, Isabella finally agreed. All right, let's meet next Sunday at 3 p.m. at the cafe near the station. With relief, Mary replied, thank you, big sis. That makes me so happy. After the call ended, Isabella took a deep breath, contemplating if meeting was right, but hoping it could lead to positive outcomes. On the arranged day, she arrived at the cafe earlier than planned, feeling a swirl of nervousness and anticipation. Time crawled until Mary appeared. Her appearance had changed, no makeup and simple attire, most notably, sincerity reflected in her eyes. Approaching the table, Mary immediately began. Big sis, I am truly sorry. Isabella felt the shift in Mary instantly, unsure of how to react. Mary, Isabella began, but Mary continued, tears withheld. Working at Grandma's place showed me how much I leaned on you without appreciating you all these years. I finally see the difficulties you faced, prioritizing us over yourself, Mary confessed, tears streaming. She shared insights gained from helping Grandma and lessons about their familial relationships. Isabella listened, noticing as each of Mary's words slowly dissolved her own suppressed anger and sorrow. With emotions lifting, Isabella replied, thank you, Mary. I've listened to your heart. They spent hours discussing life events and challenges, marking a step towards mending their bond. On their departure, Mary handed Isabella an envelope, explaining it contained earnings from working hard at Grandma's home. This is a start, but I'll continue my efforts, she said, revealing her growth and sincerity, bringing warmth to Isabella's heart. In subsequent months, Isabella revisited Grandma's home, reuniting with her parents who now offered heartfelt apologies, showing their transformation akin to Mary's. That evening, shared family dinner rekindled warmth long missed. Though hesitant to forgive entirely, Isabella felt hopeful witnessing her family's change. Before departing, Grandma imparted wise words. Isabella, you've grown strong. Remember, your capacity for kindness is just as vital. Embracing Grandma, Isabella let her emotions flow, sensing a new familial chapter beginning, lightening the burdens she'd carried.